The wonderful thing about growing indoors is that you're not directly affected by the seasons when choosing what to cultivate. Being able to offer a plant the exact environment it needs at any time of year will help you to continually achieve brilliant crops. But how do you begin the journey? Starting off from seeds rather than taking cuttings is a sensible approach for first-timers if you haven't previously raised a mother plant. Our simple guide to sowing seeds has been put together to show you how to get your plants off to the best possible start when venturing down this route, whatever the day, month, or year. To germinate seeds, you can either follow the wet tissue method and then manually move them into starter cubes or pots or a larger bed of media, or you can skip the tissue and pop them straight into starter cubes or pots or a larger bed of media, ideally inside a propagator. Here we focus on the latter technique, because the use of a propagator gives you more control over temperature and humidity. To demonstrate the process of sowing seeds, we're going to use a complete self-sufficiency microgreens and lettuce indoor grow kit, which you can pick up through our website, over the phone, and at every GroWell store. Outside of the seeds, scoop, scissors, and sprayer, this kit includes everything shown in our video. That's the tent, light, extraction system, propagators, soil, feed, and so on. If you're just starting out and want a comprehensive yet compact setup for growing nutrient-rich greens, you'll struggle to find a better option. Now, before we carry on any further, please could you take a moment to give this video a quick like and subscribe if you want to help support our channel and enable us to continue producing growing guides. It'd be much appreciated. Right, let's get back on track. First off, we put about 5 litres of the Tropic Mix soil into each of the rooted propagator trays, patting it down and evening it out along the way. Handily, you can use the underside of one propagator tray to get a nice even finish for the soil contained within the other trays. The next step is to sprinkle some EcoThrive Charge onto the soil and gently mix it in. This will provide our seedlings with a whole host of excellent nutritional benefits. If you don't have the product to hand, you can skip forward, but we highly recommend working it into your regime. Once done mixing, repat down the soil so that it's firm again. At this stage, dampen the soil prior to planting your seeds. We resort to a sprayer here to apply an even level of moisture across the soil, but you could use a small watering can with a rose to achieve a similar result. Just be careful not to overwater the media. Any puddles are definitely a bad sign. When the soil is suitably moist throughout, you can start to plant your seeds. We'll show you 2 slightly different techniques that both deliver satisfying results. Firstly, you can broadcast the seeds over the area you would like them to grow in, meaning they will come through quite randomly spread out, but also well distributed. For microgreens and other small plants, such an approach proves to be very effective. The second, more precise method of sowing seeds involves the use of your finger to create equally spaced out indentations and multiple little rows, or drills as some growers call them. This is suggested for vegetables and plants that take up a larger footprint as they develop. Okay then, how do we set up propagator tray number 1? Well, some lovely basil immediately earns a spot, which comes in the form of small black seeds. We also pick out radish seeds, broccoli seeds, red cabbage seeds, alfalfa seeds, and a few others, all planted using the broadcasting technique. We initially only sow the seeds in one half of the tray, with the other half being treated a few days later, thus enabling us to establish a cyclical supply. More often than not, you don't want all of your herbs to reach the point of harvest at the same time, unless you have a lot of mouths to feed. It makes more sense to stagger harvests for consumption during different meals across 1 or 2 weeks, guaranteeing maximum freshness every time. With the seeds now sown, we add a small amount of Tropic Mix via the scoop and gently firm down the media to ensure there's adequate contact between it and the seeds. The rooted propagators come with handy lids, but we aren't going to use these for the seedlings. If we had cuttings in this setup, then we'd use the lid to raise the relative humidity, but we don't want high humidity with seedlings as it raises the risk of dampening off, which can kill our seedlings in this setup. After a few days, you should see some shoots surface, pushing their way through the top layer of soil. This is a good trigger point to sow more seeds into the other half of the first propagation tray. We opt to plant more radish and broccoli to continue the cycle of these microgreens. So what about propagator tray 2? In this tray, we decide to grow a selection of lettuce, including red, cutting, and little gem varieties from the Franchi Seeds of Italy range. The seeds are laid out in rows because the plants naturally develop to a bigger size. Using the back of a finger, we create tiny indentations in the soil at evenly spaced intervals for them. Then, as before, a light covering of Tropic Mix is administered. This sums up the basics of sowing seeds. Evenly moisten the soil, place the seeds, gently cover them with a little more soil, and firm it down to ensure seed to media contact. But what about harvesting the microgreens and lettuce? Give or take 2 weeks, and you'll hopefully be in a position where you can eat some of your greens, and pleasingly, harvesting them is super easy. Using a pair of trimming scissors, like our trusty green blades, hold back the tops of the plants to reveal the stems underneath. Then just snip back and forth. Do this until you've got a handful of greens, and place the lot to one side in a bowl. Repeat the process to obtain exactly what you need. If you're harvesting microgreens, do so before the adult leaves come in. It's normally fine to eat them anyway, just research the species of the plant to be sure. However, the majority of the flavour will reside in the younger leaves. Once you've harvested everything you want, clear the soil of as much of the remaining stems as possible, and throw them into a compost bin. Don't worry if you can't get rid of all the plant debris, just try your best. Now the soil is ready to be reused for your next round of seedlings. There you have it. That's our simple guide to sowing seeds. If you've got any questions about planting seeds, or what to do after your seedlings have sprouted, leave a comment below and we'll help. Please give this video a like if you found it useful, and subscribe to our channel for loads of great growing content. Also, to find out more about getting your soil to the right moisture level, watch our video with Ben from Indoor Organics.